This isn't just work for me. This is who I am. People think I do this because I have to. Truth is, I do this because I choose to. There's easier ways to live, but easy was never the goal. This is number 4 of a 5-part series talking about what it takes to be an independent man. This is working with purpose. I want to start off with what this lifestyle is to me. This is a blue-collar life. This is a working life. That doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be that for you. For me, why I work the way I work. I choose to work in a lifestyle that gives me a feeling of freedom and a feeling of independence. And for me, that is this farm homestead that we have. That is a paid off farm and homestead. That has also been me living in a camper before I ever had this farm or this homestead. That was me traveling as a welder. But it's always been working towards the same goal. The way I do the work may change over time, but what it is the same. It's the purpose that I'm working for. This lifestyle gives me something beyond money. It gives me a sense of security and a sense of freedom that I couldn't get while I was just chasing money. I couldn't get it through a college degree, and I couldn't get it through a specific job. I work part-time for several companies. I work on my own business, and I build things myself. Right now I'm working on our house. I'm standing where the trusses are. We've got videos on that are still on this channel. And you can watch those videos and you can see some of the work we've done. I do things that are a certain way that keep me debt-free mostly. I do these things because they give me that sense of freedom. I do this because it's not just about money for me. I do it because when I come out here and I work with my cows and I know that I'm raising my own food, I'm raising sheep and I'm raising ducks and I'm raising pigs, I have a sense of peace and security knowing where my food comes from. I have a sense of security knowing that I'm raising that food in a good manner, in a way that is as healthy as I can possibly raise it. I have a sense of freedom knowing that this is something I enjoy doing. If it's not something you enjoy doing, then you can use these same principles in something you enjoy doing. It's not just about money, because when you just work for money, which is something I have done in the past, it takes something from your soul. It takes something from you. And if that's something you have to do for a time being to take care of your family or to give yourself an elevation of money, then so be it. Go and do it with pride. But if that's something that you're able to get away from eventually, if you can just have a little bit of a lesser house or a little bit of a lesser note on a vehicle in order to get away from a job that you absolutely hate, then to me that's far more important than 20,000 extra or 100,000 extra or whatever that dollar value may be to you. I continue this lifestyle because, as I expressed in more detail in some of the other videos, it gives me a sense of complete peace and freedom. We talked about never needing anything. So this lifestyle gives me the ability to never need anything. That's why you need to go back and watch some of the other videos. It gives me the ability to know that if it makes more sense for me to build it myself or fix it myself, then I'm going to. But it also gives me the freedom that says that I don't have to. Some homesteaders have it in their mind that they have to do everything for themselves. They have to supply everything for themselves. When in reality, the smartest thing to do is, in some cases, do it yourself, and in some cases, get someone else to do it. That's what I like about this lifestyle as the independent man, is it gives me the ability, it gives me the control. And that's why I have this, I will continue this lifestyle. And I continue this lifestyle even as I build wealth. Because I started out very poor and with not very much education at all. And as I've gone on, my education has gotten significantly better, and my income has gotten significantly better. But I continue to live the way that I live because it gives me purpose. It gives me, and you will find, like a lot of people talk about today, that you want extreme wealth, or you want uh, passive income. You want to be able to go live in Mexico on a beach for the rest of your life and sip on a latte or sip on some margarita drink, and that's all you want. But in reality, people need purpose to continue in life, and there's a lot of science to back that up. We're not going to get into that in this video, but this gives me purpose. So I've started by gaining freedom, but now I have to continue the purpose. I have the freedom where I could do a lot less, but I continue to do this life because of the purpose, and because I've built a life around things that I enjoy. So I still work hard, but all the things that I do are things that I want to do now. And as I go on, I do less and less of the things I don't want to do, and more of the things that I do want to do. The part that a lot of people miss about a lifestyle, period, especially with regards to a lifestyle of being rich or retiring early or building wealth very, very quickly, is what that shapes in you as a man specifically. For me, this lifestyle shapes in me the type of man that I want to be and that I feel that I need to be. If I were to focus daily on manifesting riches through passive income, which one thing you always need to remember is passive is not permanent. But if I manifest that, and if I work on that solely, then I start to pull from my relationship with my wife, my family. I start to pull from my relationship with God. And I start to pull from my relationship from anything that is important beyond just money and wealth. And as you get older, you start to realize that there is far more than just wealth. You need to live in a way that gives you wealth, but doesn't pull from everything else around you. A well-rounded life is way better than a rich life. Every difficult morning that I've had, and I will still have, builds something in me. When they say that hardship builds character, that is a truer statement than I ever knew was true. Because I started out having hardship at a very young age. Some of you on my channel know that I had started working 7 days a week at 13. I had to quit my education completely so that I could help take care of my family of 7 people at the time that was left in the household to take care of. And that created a sense of hardship, but it also created a sense of responsibility and a sense of resilience that said, it gave me a sense of direction as well, because it told me that there was only one path that would work, and that's what I did. And so it gave me a sense of focus and direction. So those things have shaped something inside of me. And here's the thing. Even if I could retire today, which I can, I don't want to, because of what I know it would do to my character. I would like to continue to build my character in a way, and that doesn't mean that I'm just going to continue to suffer my whole life. That doesn't mean that. But the thing is as a man, you need a challenge. You need a load. You need a certain sense of pressure on you. And you're always going to need that. You're always going to be a better man with that sense of pressure. So as you're seeking this early retirement or this wealth that you're being sold on the internet, include in that a level of pressure or furthering yourself or bettering yourself beyond your level of riches that you're planning to go to. This work forces me to be accountable. Sometimes accountability is more important than anything. That's one reason why I have a part-time job and why we run a business together, me and my wife, is accountability. It gives me a sense of this is something that has to happen. And that's why I'll schedule talks where I will go and do public speaking. And that's why I do a YouTube channel. All of those things for me at this point is about accountability. If you get to a point where you have no accountability, you're never going to move forward. Why? Because your mind, your survival mode is rest, recover, and eat. Okay? And if you're set up to a point in your life where you've got those things taken care of, you're not going to want to move beyond that. So you need to set up something that gives you accountability as a man. This is not just about survival at this point in my life. It's about becoming more and more an independent man. I wrote down a few things that I always put in the forefront of my mind when I don't know where to go, when I don't know how to continue with direction. And one side note, if you ever don't know what to do in your life, educate yourself. These are the things that I reflect back on when I don't know what else to do, when I'm not sure where I'm going in my life. As simple words: discipline, legacy, self-respect, responsibility, independence. Those are a handful of words that help me focus my core, to put me back into my core focus. And sometimes as a man, you need to remember what that core focus is. And it may not be exactly what mine is. It may not be living on a homestead. It may not be living in the country. But it's a core focus that keeps you grounded in what is you. What is your purpose? Who are you as a man? Sometimes the most important thing is just being alone with your thoughts, not scrolling, not listening to a podcast, not watching a video. Those things are educational and they're good. But sometimes just simply being alone with your thoughts, knowing for sure, because it is only when you are alone in your thoughts for long enough that you know for sure you have your life together. The weight and peace of responsibility is a big one. The responsibility that says that this is yours, that no one is coming to rescue you. I didn't have a dad, I didn't have grandparents, I didn't have a mom, I didn't have anyone to save me, and I still don't. I'm first generation. But that responsibility, that idea that no one is coming and saving me, is exactly what has shaped me as who I am now. And if you do have someone that could come save you, knowing that the principle, the idea that no one is coming and saving you, putting yourself in that place will drive you more as a man than anything else that you could ever imagine. And the peace that comes from that, the peace that knows that even if no one is coming to save you, because at one point it was a lot of stress for me, knowing that no one was coming to save me. And now what it has built in me is I feel a sense of safety and satisfaction and peace that says, it doesn't matter what you throw at me. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you tear me down. I am going to get back up. And I'm not just going to take that life by its horns. I'm going to rebuild a set of horns. That's real peace. There's a lot of people that look at me and they question how I've done my work. They question, well, why is your house not put up yet? They don't know the systems. That, in their mind, you should hurry up and get a level of status that everyone else can see. You should hurry up and get your house built so that the world can look at it And if I was worried about the world looking at it, I wouldn't be building my house off the road. I'd build it as close to the road as I could get. There's a peace in quiet work, and there's a pride that no one will understand in quiet progress. People don't understand why I'm not hurrying up and putting my house up, but I know. People don't think it makes sense that I'm laying things out the way I am, but I know. I know that I'm perfectly comfortable where I'm living. I know that me and my wife have all that we need. I know that I retired at 28. I know that I'm safe, but I haven't broadcast it to everyone else. So in their minds, it's not their sense of retirement. It's not their sense of peace. Because they can't see your whole plan, they're upset. Or they think that you're not doing something right. There is a peace and quiet knowledge in yourself that says, I know exactly what I'm doing. And that says that I'm working with purpose. Every step that I make is calculated. I'm going forward in a calculated manner. There was a time that I went out and I worked and my wife stayed home. And then there was another time in our lives where I came home and I started building our farm business. And my wife, her income was our primary source of income. Neither one of those was uncalculated. Neither one of those was, from the world. I even had people, very conservative people, that said that I was doing wrong by my wife because my wife was the primary breadwinner at the time. They never saw the external income that I still had coming in while I wasn't at a day job. They never saw the business that we were building. They only saw one thing. But they didn't need to. You're the one that needs to know that as a man. That you have purpose in your work. That you have direction in your work. No one sees most of this. No one is clapping. But this is where character is built. And this is where a true, free life lies. So the 5th video will be coming out soon. And I'll leave you with this. This isn't just what you do. It's why you wake up.